The question is there a God? And the short answer is, yes, there is a God. One of the proofs of the existence of God is the fact that man did not create himself. Nay, his creator and designer is another than himself. It is certain and indisputable that the creator of man is not like man, because a helpless creature cannot create another being. The maker and the creator has to possess all perfections in order that he may create. Can the creation be perfect and the creator imperfect? That is to say, can the picture be a masterpiece and the painter imperfect of his art? For it is his art and his creation. The picture cannot be like the painter, otherwise the painting would have created itself. No matter how perfect the picture can be, in comparison with the painter, it is in the utmost degree of imperfections. Contingency is the origin of imperfections, and God is the origin of perfections. The imperfections of the contingent world are in itself the proofs of the perfection of God. For instance, there exist in the world weaknesses, then necessarily there must be power. For without power, weakness cannot be understood. There exists in the world ignorance, then necessarily there must be knowledge. For without knowledge, ignorance cannot be realized. So there is a creation, then necessarily there must be a creator. For without a creator, creation would not come into being. It is certain that understanding is the quality of the existence of man, and man is a sign of God. Can the quality of the sign surround the creator of the sign? That is to say, can the understanding, which is the quality of the existence of man, comprehend God? Therefore, the essence of the divine reality is hidden from the understanding of man and concealed from all comprehension. It is absolutely impossible to ascend to that plane. We see that everything that is lower cannot comprehend that which is higher. The stone, the earth, and the trees, no matter how much they evolve, they cannot comprehend and understand the essence of man. They cannot imagine the power of sight, the power of hearing, and all the other powers of the all other senses. Although they are all been created, so how can man comprehend? How can man, the created, comprehend God, the creator? Man cannot grasp the essence of divinity, but he can, by his power of reasoning, by observation, and by his intuitive faculties, and by believing in God and have faith in him, is certain of his bounty, and become certain that although the divine reality is unseen of the eye, and the deity as intangible, yet there are conclusive spiritual proofs that assert its existence. The essence of the divine reality, however, is beyond all description. For instance, the nature of ether is unknown, but we are certain of its existence by the effect it produces, heat, light, and electricity as waves thereof. Through these waves, we are certain of the existence of the power of ether. As we observe the outpouring of divine grace, we are certain of the existence of God. The coming together of various elements give rise to the existence of beings, and their non-existence is due to the decomposition of these constituent elements. For decomposition makes these elements disintegrate and separate. As we observe the coming together of various elements give rise to the existence of beings, and we know beings are infinite, and they are the effect, how then the cause be finite? Formation is said by Abdu'l-Baha to be of three kinds, and three kinds only: accidental formations, necessary formations, and voluntary formations. The coming together of various elements to give rise to the existence of beings cannot be accidental. For every effect, there must be a cause. They cannot be compulsory, for then the formation is an inherent property of the constituent part. An inherent property of a thing cannot be separated from the main thing itself. For instance, revealing things is an inherent property of light. Expanding elements is an inherent property of heat. The solar rays are the inherent properties of the sun. Under these circumstances, decompositions of any formation is impossible, for an inherent property of a thing cannot be separated from the main thing itself. That will leave us with one formation, and that is of voluntary. An inner force, which is described as the ancient power, caused the coming together of various elements, and every formation give rise to a distinct being. Abdu'l-Baha said that all the names that we attribute to gods are only to prove that God is incapable of imperfections. So how much more to prove the perfections of God? He said that God is incomprehensible, inaccessible. It's a pure essence that cannot be described. So how then can we describe and we comprehend God? Let us consider the physical sun. That central orb of light, heat, and energy suspended up in the atmosphere have not come down to this earth to bring its life-giving force for us to survive or to be able to grow and live on this planet. No, that is impossible. According to scientific research, if the distance between the sun and the earth is altered by just 2%, nothing will survive on this earth. Either we freeze to death or we incinerate. But in order for us to receive the bounty of the sun, there must be intermediaries. And these intermediaries are the solar rays. All which in the sun are in the rays, And every praise that we give to the Son, we are referring to the rays. God is incomprehensible, inaccessible. It's a pure essence that cannot be described. In order for us to receive the bounty of God, there must be intermediaries. And these intermediaries are His holy manifestations. These manifestations, when they appear on this earth, they appear on this earth progressively. In the last 6,000 years, these holy manifestations appear on earth. They are Abraham, Krishna, Moses, Buddha, Zoroaster, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, the Bab, and the latest manifestations that appeared on earth is His Holiness Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah brought teachings and laws to advance civilization. Baha'u'llah brought teachings and laws to remedy the sickness of the world. Baha'u'llah brought teachings and laws to develop society. Baha'u'llah brought in teachings and laws to unite all mankind. Thank you, and I wish you well. Faftai lava manuela fa fo mai mala fa sa sa mo so